Good day fellas and welcome to another devlog for my game called The Last Bird. I guess except for my few awesome viewers nobody really knows what this project is about. So I will quickly show you. The main idea behind this project is to make a simple 2D action game which you can play on your mobile device. You are a pilot who controls a warbird and must defend your country from countless enemy bombers. For quite some time I've been trying to work on this project, but as you can probably guess, being a uni student at the end of the semester can get really time consuming. The good thing is that today I finally found some time to make a huge update on this project and make a video about it. As I started to work on this project 5 months ago, I didn't have any idea how to accomplish some ideas and make them work. I lacked Unity skills and programming was not my friend. But step by step as this project progressed, I wanted to add much more features and make this little game satisfying to play. Maybe it is a scope creep, but in this case I don't mind. After all, this whole game is an opportunity to learn and experiment. If you don't know, in my previous devlog I have done some work on visual explosions and particles. I also decided to finally move on to the next task and start making a simple campaign for this game, because I was starting to feel quite burned out working on the main game loop. Guess what? Once again I got carried away from my original task, and campaign mode will have to wait. But I feel that this reroute is quite necessary, because since the beginning of my project I discarded the idea of having destructible objects, mainly because it seemed really hard to make, and I thought that I may have to sacrifice game's performance for that. But as I started researching this topic and watching tutorials on YouTube, I found that it is indeed possible to make and not that hard. I imagined how cool and satisfying it could be to have a fully destructible planes. This was my dream I couldn't achieve in the first place. And now, as the opportunity presented itself, I took it. I obviously don't need something spectacular. I just want to have a way to change sprites in real time and show the damage in that way. But here's the problem. My skill set is quite far away from an ability to make such things. At least for now, as I have never attempted anything like that. So I decided to use pre-made 2D destruction package. After a couple of hours trying to make everything work together, this was the final result. Machine gun ammo can now leave holes in the plane's fuselage. Of course, it is not entirely accurate, but for performance sake, the destruction must be optimized as much as possible. I really like how it looks, and the game has a different feeling when you can actually see the destruction you just caused. The next step is to add even more destruction. That's quite easy, because for that I have rockets in my game. Explosions naturally cause way more damage than the machine gun rounds, so this is how it looks. The best thing about all of this is that the game seems to be running fine on my Android phone. I have experienced almost non-performance issues without having to optimize my game, which is a really great sign. It is even possible to cut a plane in half, although it may seem that I have to put much more work in order for that to work, but I am hopeful here, so maybe in the next devlog you will see me slicing through some planes. Now I will leave this topic for a bit, because I also want to show you other visual changes I have done to some backgrounds. For quite some time I really wanted to slightly change this background and make it more similar to the others, especially from the colors perspective. It seemed quite too bright compared to other backgrounds, and you couldn't properly see the bullets flying through the blue background. So we made it a bit darker and fixed these really annoying seams that were really noticeable and looked just awful. Also, here it is a new background which is supposed to represent early morning. I wanted to make it as clean as possible, and by clean I mean quite empty, which is supposed to represent clear skies. I think it looks kind of good. Maybe I'll add some details to it, but I guess we will have to wait and see. Some of the biggest improvements I did so far was suggested by an awesome indie games community, and my few viewers I love. So, as always, if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. I'm starting to feel that this project is becoming more and more interesting for me, and I really want to make this game as good as I possibly can. So, if you are still here, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I will see you in the next devlog.